Okay, so Yankees win again. The first time they've won consecutive games in almost a month. So good for them. They won't lose the series. They'll have the very worst tie the series with the Tigers. So, kudos to the Yankees for that. Michael King went four clean innings. And we got Garrett Cole tomorrow. So the Yankees have a pretty good chance at winning this series. And Clay Holmes struggled a little bit in the ninth, but he got it down. So, again, this is a team, like I said last night, the Yankees should be beating. They have a worse record than the Yankees, and they should be beating these teams. So I'm glad that they are. I'm really glad that they are. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome. We got NFEs in the house. Jonathan's here. Sean Browning, Louis G. What is good, gang? My consigliere Joe. There he is. What's good, gang? What is good? Tim King joins us in place. Yankee Sweden is in the facility. What's good, Yankee Sweden? Right. 4-train Mr. Mazza. My main man's in the place, too. Dev. Derek. Friedman's here. What's good, gang? So, Yankees win game 4-2. And Torres went deep. Volpe went deep. And this is, a couple good signs. It's always okay. It's okay to point out the good signs, too. There's so many bad ones to point out. Let's point out the good ones, too. So, let's just clear a few things up. They released Josh Johnson. For those that haven't heard, they released him earlier this season. Not earlier, earlier today. They also put Harrison Bader on waivers. Okay, now, there's a difference between releasing a player and putting them on waivers. Okay? Releasing them, you're eating the money, getting them off the 40-man and the 26-man roster, period. Okay, now, there's a couple of things here with the release point, too. They had to clear up a couple of 40-man spots to put players like Jason Dominguez, who now needs to be put on the 40-man in order to be protected from the Rule 5 draft. You have to be on a 40-man in order to be protected from the Rule 5 draft. Now, I know there's an appetite. A lot of people are saying, and even pushing rumors that the Yankees might call up Jason Dominguez. There's even talks that have reached the level of Hal Steinbrenner for certain people pushing him from the Como. So you might see him. Okay? So, but now, a couple other things here too. First and foremost, they got Donaldson. He's off the 26, he's off the 40 officially. They were going to put him back on the 40. So this officially keeps that roster spot clear for somebody like Dominguez to be put on the 40. They could put Dominguez on the 40, not necessarily bring him up to the 26. They could do that just to protect him from the Rule 5 draft, which he's going to have to be protected from the Rule 5 draft. Now, waivers is a different story, and there's a timing thing to the waivers. Any player that's being claimed on waivers from another team before September 1st can use them in the postseason. Okay? So there's a timing thing with the waivers. This is why so many guys, like 5 guys from Angels, are being put on waivers today. Yankees put Bader on there. And the difference between waivers and releases, like the Yankees have released Donaldson, they're eating all of his contract. Just like they released Hick, they're eating all of his contract. Just like the Mets did with Scherzer and Verlander. They really traded those guys. But anytime you release somebody, you're eating contracts. So you put them on a waivers, another team claims them, they're claiming the contract. Okay? So this is an opportunity for the Yankees to get back under the Cohen threshold now. There's been a couple of questions about that too. If the Yankees have a terrible record, they'll pick pretty high in the draft, right? Now, let's just say they pick 10th, but they exceed the Cohen threshold, that gets pushed down 10 spots. So they go from 10 to 20, and it's the 20th pick every round, okay? But if they get under, which is I think the reason they're putting Bader on the waivers, to play. Also, Cashman was looking for a suitor for him at the trade deadline. and they didn't find anybody with not even a decent offer. They got lowballed, and a lot of times when it came to Bader. So the one reason they didn't trade him. Also, he was blocked by Hal. He had a couple trades on the table, and he was blocked by Hal, who didn't want this stuff done. But now with Bader on way, and he could still play. You could still play. You're on the 26. You could still play if you're on waivers until you're claimed by another team. So we might wake up tomorrow and a team that's in need of an elite glove, as long as they claim him before September 1st, they can use him for the playoffs. They'll also be claiming the rest of his salary as well. So it'll save the Yankees a couple of $1,000,000. So that's essentially the difference between this is, and I know people are saying they're raising the white flag, and I get that, but there's a timing thing when it comes to waivers. There's a reason why a lot of teams are waiting until the last minute to put players on waivers. So another team can claim them for the postseason. Now, again, this is like the draft, too, when you claim a team on waivers. We can't just, the Yankees can't just go out and claim people left and right. It's reverse order. Teams who had the worst records pick first. So the Yankees are going to have to wait in line to claim a certain player if they want to claim a certain player. Okay? But you're also claiming their salary. But whatever teams have the worst record will pick before the Yankees. And if they pass on them, then it's the Yankees' turn. So it's the same selection process order as the draft. Claiming on waivers. So worst records pick first. So that's just the way that it works with waivers. So, but again, waivers is not the same thing as releasing a player. So Tampa took one of the Angels pitchers. Really, did they? Who else? He must have passed through a lot of teams at that point. So let's see. I'll look at right now. Let's check MLB TradeRumors.com. Let's have a look here. And well, the Angels placed Lucas Giolito. They just acquired at the deadline. Matt Moore, they had him for a bit. Ronaldo Lopez went to Renfroe, who they sent the free agent. They also took Randall Grichuk, who they got from Rockies. They placed all those guys on waivers. All those guys are on waivers. So we'll see who picks them up. Let's say Tampa Bay Rays. So you to give us some intel here that the Rays picked up an Angels pitcher. Let's see here. I don't know who they claimed yet. But again, they must have passed through almost every team, including the Yankees, to get to Tampa because it has one of the better records in baseball. So I don't understand why the Yankees waited so long to get rid of Harrison Bader. You want to keep him as long as you can, Brandon, at the last minute. Again, they also tried trading him at the deadline, and teams were lowballing him. That's why they didn't trade him. So this is another reason why they waited. Okay? So it's a timing thing. And again, as long as you put a player on waivers and he's clean before September 1st, they can be used for the postseason. So that's how it works. That's how it works, Brendan. And again, they couldn't get a trade done by the deadline, and so they had another deadline here, September 1st, 2 weeks later. Actually, more than 2 weeks later. So that's just the way that it is, Brandon. So they tried to see whether Bader was going to be part of a turnaround for the team. It hasn't happened, which is another reason why they waited that long. I think going to win more than 70 games, Sunil. I'm sticking to that. More than 70 games. Well, we know Cashman's asking price, Bobby, when it came to the Marlins and that Gleyber Torres high. So you need to come down to reality. We're also hearing that teams are lowballing, and they always lowball the Yankees. So probably a combination of the two, Bobby. Probably a combination of the two. By the way, smash that like button. Smash that thumbs up, gang. If you haven't smashed that thumbs up yet, to celebrate another Yankees win. Always feels good when the Yankees win. What's up, War Vet? So, yeah, Holmes has been struggling. It feels good to be back home, Bobby. Appreciate that, man. We don't know if the Yankees are going to call up Dominguez, and a lot of people talking about it. That's for sure. We don't know. I think Spencer Jones personally is more major league ready than Dominguez is, but Dominguez, the guy with all the hype and everything over the last couple of years. So I have no idea, Brandon. But at the very least, Dominguez would be who we put on the 40-man roster because he has to be protected now from the Rule 5 draft. In order to do that, you have to be put on the 40-man. Now they can do that, and having released Josh Johnson. So yeah, a lot of news, Warvet, a lot of news. So yeah, and Lasagna would probably have a better shot at finishing the season as a closer than Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes has a couple things he needs to work out here. So I mean, a few things to work out here. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that's the news now. That's the news right now. Um, what's this? Got a text here. 500 records is definitely possible, but it's unlikely. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not ruling out anything. Not ruling out anything. Yeah, I mean, it feels like they probably won't make the playoffs. I think that's almost a certainty right now, Tiffany. How are you, by the way? They can put Holmes on waivers, but Holmes also has another year left before he's a free agent, so they will probably want to trade him and get something back in return. My guess, Robert. That's just a guess there. We might get in playoffs. I can see a turnaround. You never know with him. You never know. I think it's improbable, but anything's possible. So, you know what I mean? I've said this too. I said Warvet to forget about Cody Bellinger too. Bellinger's going to cost at least $25 million a year. He's playing himself into a huge contract, and he's a Boris client. So I think I think he can get more than 25 million. But I would say 7 years, 175 million. 7 years, almost 200 million. They're looking to top Chris Bryant's contract 180 million. That's what I'm hearing too. So, do I see many trades? Well, not right now. The trade deadline's over, Jonathan. But in the offseason, yes. Yes, in the offseason, no doubt about it. Now, if the White Sox picked up Donaldson, then he can be like, that would be funny from Dominic. That would be funny if the White Sox picked up Donaldson. We'll see who gets picked up. One reason the Yankees released him instead of putting him on waivers is they knew nobody was going to claim that salary, so you had to release the guy. So, yeah, the Angels put a bunch of guys, Morvet, on waivers. A bunch of guys. And after the season, yeah, I see a decent amount of trades, Jonathan. I do. Yeah, Giolito got put on waivers. Grichuk, Matt Moore, a couple of other guys too got put on waivers from the Angels. Yeah. Yes, Dave. Let's get. Well, by the way, let's get over 100 thumbs up, gang. If you don't mind, 100 likes. We always like to try to get to 100 likes in the post games and in the live streams. So it's greatly appreciated, gang. Yeah, we got 4 now. We need 51 likes to go. So we can get there. We can get there. Imagine if the A's pick up Donaldson. Yeah, they might. They might. They might make a trade for a closer. This is where you can trade Gleyber Torres, for a good reliever. Hader. I think the Yankees are 50. I think it's 50-50 with Hader. Padres can bring him back. Someone else can bring him back. So I do think he'll probably break Edwin Diaz's closer record of 5 years, 102 million. I do think he'll probably break that. And I'd be pleasantly surprised if the Yankees got Hader, but you never know. I do think another late inning reliever reliable would be a good idea for the Yankees, one way or the other. One way or the other. So, yeah, and Hay would have to comply with the hair. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it could be. I'm confident that Wells will get called up. I'm not sure about Dominguez. If he gets called up, he gets called up. They want to give him a little bit of taste, then give him a taste. You know what I mean? The Yankees are going to need 2 starting pitchers, Tiffany, in my opinion. 2 starting pitchers and at least 1 reliever. At least 1. Um, Blake Snell, Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, Shinobu Yamamoto, and Clark Schmidt. Yamamoto, I mean, I would have, Cole at the 1, Snell at the 2. Let's not forget Carlos Rodon there either, by the way. He's here too for 5 more years. So they might trade Nestor Cortez. You never know. I don't think the Yankees need Giolito or Grichuk now, Lorenzo. Neither one of them really did much with the Angels. Yeah, I could see Nestor being traded. 2 bats, 2 stars. Yeah, something like that, Chris. Yeah. I could still see the Yankees trading Torres. And they could replace his offense with a free agent and have a better defender in the infield too. So, personally, I could see it. He's got trade value, so I would definitely take advantage of it. 0 chances they sign Ohtani, Derek. I wouldn't even waste my time with Shohei Ohtani. Especially now he's probably going to need Tommy John. I wouldn't even waste my time. Japanese pitcher, 50-50. Right now. No. The Giants just picked up Harrison Bader. Really? Hang on a second. That's true. Let's see. The Giants picked up Harrison Bader on waivers. What the damn hell? Let's see. Nothing yet. If they claimed them on waivers, I'd be surprised. Let me see. San Francisco Giants. San Francisco Giants. That was quick. Haven't seen it yet. I don't see anything yet, but would I be surprised? No. Now, where'd you see that? The King of Texas, my son. Thank you so much, my man. Appreciate you, the man. You are the man. What's up, Tats? What's good, Pinstripe Chronicles? Snell plays for the Padres, Tiffany. Snell plays for the Padres. Yeah, I mean, again, Ohtani's probably still going to get some big money, but not as big as he could have been. If he needs Tommy John, again, keep in mind, Tommy John as a pitcher takes longer to recover from than Tommy John as a hitter. Bryce Harper got Tommy John and recovered relatively quickly, but again, Ohtani hits lefty. Okay, so the majority of his stress is going to be in his right arm, which is his pitching arm. Okay, and when you extend the arm and extend the bat, it's going to go right into the right arm. So, his days as a 2-way player might be over. So that's going to eat into his value. Yeah, Bryce, I don't see it just yet. Yeah, Snell's have a pretty good type season. His second half is almost Cy Young worthy for the Giants. So, and the Yankees got some young talent. Yeah, I haven't seen Harrison Bader being claimed just yet. So remember, gang, teams like right now the Yankees, they're not necessarily putting Bader on waivers because they're waving the white flag. There's a couple of things here. Keep in mind, remind for those that haven't heard, they released John Donaldson obviously because nobody was going to take his salary, but they also need to open up a 40-man spot for Jason Dominguez, who needs to be protected now after the season from the Rule 5 draft. The only way to get him protected from the Rule 5 draft is to put him on 40-man. Releasing Donaldson guarantees that. Putting Bader on waivers. Remember, teams are putting players on waivers right now because they have to be clean before September 1st in order for the acquiring team to use them in the postseason. So these are important things to keep in mind. And they are important. It's a timeline, again, when it comes to waivers. Now let's see here. No, nothing yet. Okay. Nothing yet. Okay. So it's important. Again, and waivers is not the same thing as being released. Not the same thing. Yeah, I don't see Bader being claimed by the Giants yet either. So Billy Clemenza, what's up, man? My Corleone family is in the house. Love it. Much love to you guys. Yeah, we have a lot of players that need protection. Again, it's not everybody. There's like you have to be here for a certain amount of years as a college draft pick or an international player in order to be eligible for protection from the Rule 5 draft. Like, all right, we need 33 likes to get to 100. I'm sure we can get there. Franchising, building what's good. So keep these things in mind. You know, keep these things in mind. But yeah, shout out to Michael King today. Let's box score this. Let me pull this up. King again. What do you throw? 4 innings, 4 shot innings, 60 pitches. All right, let me pull up. Yeah, there we go. 4 innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, 61 pitches. Okay, building him up, starter worthy wise. Mike Consiglietti, thank you, my man. I appreciate you too. You guys did it best. And then Brito came in with 3 1/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 outs. Pearl came in with 2/3 of an inning, clean. Clay Holmes had a little bit of a rough ninth. Gave up 2 hits, 2 runs. We had 2 strikeouts. His ERA is up to 3.42. It was down like to 270s. It's been ballooning. It's one of the rough outings he's had. So, yeah, Giolito hasn't done much with the Angels. Neither is Grichuk. So, like a lot of these guys, another reason why they're put on waivers so other teams can acquire them. And in this case, any acquiring team, when it comes to waivers, will be acquiring their salary too. When you release a player, you eat all their salary. When you put them on waivers and they're claimed, the other team eats their salary. So, it's something to keep in mind. Now, let's see. Torres went deep today. Volpe went deep today. So did Kagashioka. We had three bombs. 3 bombs. We also had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we had 6 hits. Not a ton. Not a ton. But that's what we had today in terms of offense. Okay. DJ was 0 for 4. Judge was 1 for 4. Torres 2 for 2. Stanton 1 for 4. Volpe 1 for 4. Bader 0 for 4 with an error too. Everson Pereira. Pereira's 0 for 2. With 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Higashioka 1 for 4. Haraza 0 for 3. So that's the offensive line up and down box score for this team. Scores on wild pitch. I mean, Torres has some trade value. Defensively, he doesn't have much. Offensively, he does. So I wouldn't consider it a disaster. He was clutch for a while. He carried us in the postseason too, so keep in mind. And again, waiver is not being released. He's not released. Again, there's a timeline when it comes right now to waivers. So many players are being put on waivers right now so that the other teams can claim them with a sense of urgency before September 1st so they can use them for the postseason. So, yeah, maybe they'll get Montgomery. No. You never know. They might get him as a free agent. I don't know if he's willing, but maybe they'll get him. But I wouldn't rate the trade a disaster just because it was placed on waivers. The waivers, again, the motivation right now is we're approaching the ball and players have to be claimed by September 1st. No, that's why. Yeah, if he gets picked up, then if he gets picked up, and if they call up Jason Dominguez, then fans are going to be happy. So it's not a white flag. Sunil, as much as certain people say it is not a white flag. Again, there's a playoff timeline when it comes to this stuff. That's why the Angels put 5 guys on waivers today. And you're also clearing payroll, which you can use to pad somewhere else. So, or get under a threshold like the Yankees want to get under that Cohen threshold, right? Well, this, gets a few million off their books. Maybe it helps them do that. We were talking about this earlier, right? With the forfeiting of draft picks. Like if they're over the threshold and they have to drop 10 picks per every round in the draft. If they're not, then they can keep their higher pick for having a terrible record. So there's a couple different approaches here. So now, people can call white flag all they want. Could be a white flag, but people will call it white, whatever it is. Back home, Felix. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We definitely want to get over 100 thumbs up, 100 likes here today, too. Let's smash that thumbs up if you don't mind. Let's get us over 100 likes. Fill the hole before you release. Well, not necessarily, Texas. I mean, theoretically. No, I think it's every round, Jonathan. We'll see, Texas. I think it might be more in the first round, Jonathan. But in terms to answer Texas' question, I mean, essentially, Donaldson, they're replacing with Peraza, right? He's already here. If Bader goes, maybe they'll call up Dominguez. Maybe they'll call up Estevan Florial. They already have Everson Pereira here. So, and they have all these other guys, too. So, they have a lot of outfield depth. So, could Florial could play left field and Pereira could play center, as far as we know. So those are just instant move. Like they could do that because they're already on site. Like Florial can just come up, right? And that'll be an easy spot. And John Donaldson wasn't on the 40 anyway because he was on a 60-day IL. He was already off the 40, but in order to keep him off the 40, they had to release him. So that's the other thing too. If they put him back on the 40, then it would have made it harder. They would have had to have taken somebody off the 40 at some point to get Dominguez on there to protect him from that Rule 5 draft. Because the team would take Dominguez in a Rule 5 draft. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, Florida. It might be Florida. It might be, we don't know who the heck it's going to be, honestly. But could be for third base. Chaparro's not a good defender at third base, so I would, if he's going to be here, probably DH or first base. Chaparro, in my opinion. Yes, thank you for the service too, Warvet. Yes, sir. No. Chaparro is a very shoddy defender at third base, so he's a better fit at first base. Oh, Florial's hurt. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Good point. Florial's hurt. That's another reason why he's not being brought up. It's a good point. I forgot about that. Thank you for. No offense. Actually, it's harder than you think, Rob. And who would they take off? Is the thing. And they can just randomly take somebody off and keep them off. Because then they're going to have to make another corresponding move to bring them back on. So it's not as easy as people think. I don't know. I don't know if it's an incompetence thing or I don't know what it is, Tats. Honestly, I don't know what it is. They tried trading Bader at the deadline. It didn't work. So, Frenchie Cordell. Actually, I think Frenchie was released. Actually, if I remember correctly. Torres making trading him hard. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Texas. Yeah, here we go with the balloon fire Cashman thing again. Freshman position simple. What fresh blood would change this team, this roster, turn this team around, Robert, is the question. Like, we hear fire Boone, fire Cashman every single day with no argument behind it. It's just the same trash every day. So, like, who would turn this team around? Torrey wouldn't do it. Girardi wouldn't do it. You know, I know a lot of fans want Cashman gone. They want Boone gone. If they don't, then I still think they need to revamp analytics and some other areas. But we'll see if they do that or not. They at the very least need to surround these guys with a better player personnel because they've had the weakest roster in a long time. And it sounds now that Boone and Cashman are staying. But we'll see. We'll see. IKF, yeah, that's true. IKF can fill the outfield hole too. So this is the thing. Anybody can claim it, and it's got to be in reverse order. It's in order from worst record to best record. So Torres is going to make 9 figures, I think, Jonathan. I think he's going to make a 9-figure contract. He'll make over $100 million, I think. I know listen, a lot of people want to chant fire Boone, fire Cashman. Some catchers make good managers, not all. Does Yadier? I don't even know if Yadier speaks English. So I'm curious if he speaks English or not. Posada, I don't know if he has any interest. I mean, theoretically, Posada would be nice. He knows what winning as a Yankee is like. So, but again, I don't know if Yadi can even speak English or not. I have no idea. No idea. Do you think they call up Jason after? Well, they have to release Bader, or Bader has to be claimed off waivers in order for him to be taken off to 26, and then he would be taken off to 40. So they can call up, well, not call up, but they can put Jason on the 40 now. I think now that Donaldson's been released, he's got to be put on the 40 before the end of the year. By the end of the year, I think Posada is with the Marlins. This is true. Baez got 6 years, $124 million. He was also a shortstop at the time. When shortstop were getting paid, yes, he is terrible, but I see Gleyber Torres probably getting a similar contract to Baez. Yankees are clearing about $70 million. 70 plus million, Chris. No. I mean, A-Rod's got a great baseball mind, but he's also completely full of himself. He's a phony. He's universally hated in the Yankee universe, so that's the problem. But he's also got he owns a basketball team. So he's got too many conflicts of interest. Butterbots, yeah. But he's a great baseball mind. There's no doubt about that. There's no denying that. Bader just said he found out by turning on ESPN that he was put on waivers. He wasn't told before the game. I don't know about that. Best players have to be told until team. Okay. Wink. I don't know how accurate that is, but okay. Pudge Rodriguez. They got to be interested. No idea. Hall of Fame catcher, no doubt about it. Just like Yadi, who I think's got to go in the Hall of Fame too. But does it translate to manager? Looks like average catchers like Scioscia and Girardi translated to decent managers. So you never know. No idea. A-Rod's definitely a me-verse guy. Definitely me. We can't have that. And the Bader trade was not a disaster. He did what the Yankees needed for him. He carried their asses in the playoffs last year. Yeah, Montgomery's about a 500 pitcher with a mid to low 3 something. Or he's decent. He'll get paid this offseason too. but it's not traded an ace for Harrison Bader either. He gave the Yankees what they needed. Montgomery gave the Cardinals what they needed, and that's it. That's it. Trey Sweeney, I don't know where would he play. Chris is the question. Like that's the other question. Let's get to 100 likes, gang. Anybody hasn't hit that thumbs up? Smash that thumbs up. Let's celebrate 2 straight wins for the Yankees. John Flaherty is a good fit in the booth. I mean, I don't know. It's you know. I mean, theoretically, catchers are good game callers, so you could see the logic behind that being good managers, and some of them have been good managers. So I understand the desire for them, but they got to be interested too. Questions we just have no idea. Yadi Molina is definitely a first ballot Hall. If he doesn't get in first ballot, something's wrong. People are crazy. Like in all honesty, like crazy. Maybe Florial's back from his injury now. More vet. Boy, Sunil's just going catcher after catcher. Like he's desperate to find a catcher as a manager here. It's funny. I have no idea. No idea if Matt was interested. I mean, I don't even know if he would be a good fit. I have no idea. It's a good question. I honestly don't know. All right, we need 11 likes to get to 100. Ellsbury's the next manager. Sunil's is desperate to get Boone out of here, man. Wells and Ben Rice are off catchers. Yeah, I mean, well, they're catchers who profile first base too, like catchers, first baseman. If I'm them, Joe Torre's like 85 years old. Bobby Cox, I think, is like 85 years old too. They're too old, but Torre obviously was a good manager. Bobby Cox was a good manager too. They were decent catchers. Yeah. If Boone is a sacrificial lamb, Duncan, I don't know. You never know. He came right off injury pretty quickly, and he comes back from injuries pretty quickly too, Peter. So, like, you know, I would stop short of calling the Bader trade a disaster or a bad trade. So, each team got what they needed. At least Bader doesn't miss like 50 games from injuries, thankfully. So, put Severino on waivers and qualify the Will Warren or Clayton Beer. I mean, theoretically, it sounds decent, Lorenzo. I would give Severino a call. I think Severino will get a couple-year deal in free agency, just like I think Bader, if he's not clean, will get a couple-year deal in free agency too. So I would give those guys qualifying offers, me personally. Because they'll make more in free agency than they would 1 year as a qualifying offer. Could Sean I mean, I guess he could, but I think he's starting to make a difference as a hitting coach. So I'm not sure. Varitek, no idea. Yeah, Torre has a good gig with the baseball office, low key. I don't think he's going to get back and put the uniform back on in his mid 80s. I doubt it. Yeah. No. If the Yankees finish strong with these calls, yeah, I mean, it sounds as if the likeliness of them firing Boone is going down. So that's what we're hearing. Oh, Leyrit's another one. Boy, fans are just really desperate to move on from Boone. Oh. Bader did play his way out of his job. I would agree with that, Texas. I would agree with that 100%. Jason Ferrante. Yeah. Lyritz killed the woman in the DUI. Did he really, Peter? Oh, shit. Well, that's terrible. I didn't know that. You could, yeah, I mean, easier to conclude. Like, the fact that Cashman said that the season was a disaster. Yeah, and again, when you start to factor in their injuries and all this other stuff, it starts to lend credence to these guys potentially coming back. So, do I think Judge can? Not this year, Angelo. I don't think Judge will pass on. Ohtani's got 44 right now. Judge has 29. And Ohtani's going to continue to hit. So, according to the Angels. So, I can't see him passing Ohtani. Not this year. Rachel Balkovic is, man, I think she's going to keep doing manager stuff. I think she's going to work her way up. So, Balkovic, I think she's definitely getting her street cred as a manager. So, Strada's won a few years. Yeah, he's playing pretty well, Peter. The Strada, one of a few Yankee prospects. Yeah. Well, that's true too, Bobby. Yeah. Fire Boone, who didn't have manager experience, and bringing someone else who doesn't have manager experience. Yeah, I like what I like your thought process here, Bobby. You're making sense. 8 likes to get to 100. All right. Well, it sounds, look, the Angels asked him to get an MRI about a little over a month ago, and him and his agents shut it down, said it wasn't needed. And now, clearly, they needed it. So, and now people are pissed that info was leaked. Well, that's on Ohtani and his agent. So, and again, he's going to have to recover from Tommy John, even for a while as a hitter. So if he gets Tommy John, he's going to miss a chunk of the season next year, no matter what position he plays, pitcher or hitter, DH. So, and again, his value as a two-way player has been hurt. It's going to affect his contract. One way or another, he's going to miss some time if he decides to get Tommy John. Is Chaparro? It's a good question. Let me see if I can pull this up. We'll find draft under Chaparro. Yeah, they left him unprotected last year and he wasn't claimed. So he'll probably get claimed this year. So yes, they have to protect him because he has had a much better offensive season this year. So nobody claimed him last year. I think it would probably be a different scenario this year. But again, you never know. Let's see who else here. Let's just do this. Who's eligible for Rule 5 draft this year? Let's pull up the list. Do we have Dominguez? Yep. That's why he's got to be on a 40-man. Austin Wells. So, Clayton Beater. Elijah Hunnam. I could see him being unprotected. Matt Sauer. They'll probably protect him. Carson Coleman, another pitcher. Warren Sorella, pitcher. Jared Serna, an infielder. Edgar Barclay. Jesus Bastidas, an infielder. Andres Chaparro. Christopher Familia. Carlos Narvaez, another catcher at AAA. Who else we got here? Austin Ramirez, another catcher. Osai Rodriguez, a pitcher. Mitch Spence, pitcher. All those guys are exposable for the Rule 5 draft. So all those guys would have. Drew Thorpe is not eligible yet, Dominic, so he doesn't need to be protected just yet. Oh, he skirted it. He's not there yet. He hasn't been here long enough. So he's safe. I didn't see Lockridge on the list right now. Mitch Spence, man. I saw Matt Sauer. I didn't see Brandon Lockridge. But again, we'll see. I think Thorpe will be fine. I need 5 left to 100, and you have 5 that haven't hit thumbs up. Please do so. Let's get over 100 like thing. Let's get us over 100. It's always helpful. It's greatly appreciated. Celebrate, winning 2 games in a row. The Yankees celebrate Donaldson release. Okay? And again, it's a plus move. I wish him well, but it's a plus move for the Yankees. Like I said, Donaldson getting off the 40 is going to protect one of these guys, most likely Jason Dominguez. So these things have to be factored into the equation. You know what I mean? Our emotions and our opinions don't have to be factored in. These things do. So I need 3 legs to get to 100. All right. Like some obvious Wells, Beater, Dominguez, Dunham. Yeah, he's like the number 16 prospect for the Yankees, but he's not the most obvious. We have superfluous outfield depth, so I'm not sure if they'll protect him. Matt Sauer is a pitching prospect for the Yankees. I think he'll be protected. And I believe up this. Well, not all of them. It's pretty classy when it was released today. No, I mean I wish Donaldson well. I tweeted, to him directly, wishing him well. I really do wish him well. So wish him good luck in his next endeavor, his next team, or whatever. If he gets claimed from, we don't know. If he gets picked up by somebody or signed on a minimum, and the Yankees are eating all this money, so just like they're eating all of Aaron Hicks' money. So. When was he approached to see if he reconciled differences? When was that? When did that happen? I also heard he was offered the head coaching position at Northwestern University, which is his alma mater, a college coaching job. So my handle's Bronx Bomber 447, Bobby. Bronx Bomber 447. Shelly Duncan's great AAA. Doesn't mean he's going to be great at the major leagues, but if they consider him, they consider him. Having some Yankee managerial experience. So they're not going to release Stanton. They would be eating like 100 and something million bucks. Stanton won't be released. You could put him on waivers, but nobody's going to claim him. So I would be shocked if somebody claimed Stanton. Let's see. But so that's the list of Rule 5 eligible players. All those guys we talked about, Patrick, are eligible for the Rule 5 draft. So they have to be protected in order to be not claimed by another team. So that's tough. That's a tough one. So these guys have to be put on the 40-man in order. And again, The 40-man roster is relatively tight. If you look at the 40-man, there's not a lot of easy guys to just get off the tape, put off there and expose them. So it's usual one line. I don't. But I'm asking you, when did it happen? So no, I haven't seen anything to that degree. When did that happen? When was he approached and asking to reconcile and all that stuff? Again, who knows? I think he wore out his welcome here anyway. So I'm not sure. A lot of talented guy. Yeah, the Yankees farm system is as deep as it's been in a long time, especially offensively. Pitching, they're growing too. They're a deeper farm than they have been in a while. And kudos to scouting and drafting and everything else. Point is, it didn't happen. So you lied, dude. Come on, man. Don't do that, Sunil. Come on. Let's just be honest here, all right? Don't lie like that. Didn't happen. Bottom point thing picture. You said it happened. Come on, dude. Please don't do that, Sunil. Let's not mislead people. I think it's unfair. So next year the freeze will be off to 40. Yeah. I think Herman will be off. Higgy will probably be off. Higgy is in the year, so I think they're going to try and trade him. Herman's got another year, so I think they're going to try and trade him too. So we don't know. You don't have to do that stuff. You don't have to lie. Come on. You are better than that. If anybody hasn't hit that like button, please do so. We're one away from 100. Greatly appreciated. So, and we'll wrap this up in a second too. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason. But the Yankees are at the very least showing some gumption here, showing a willingness to be bold a little bit. You know, and an admission that a move hasn't worked, like Donaldson, releasing him, which is a plus move. So, and I think Girardi doesn't fit in MLB anymore either. I think he's probably better fit in college too, Billy. I'm with you there. I'm with you there too. I'm with you there too, brother. But again, it's a lot more talk. A lot more talk. King looked good today. I hope Cole looks good tomorrow. So, yeah, the Mets placed Carlos Carrasco on waivers today. I saw that. The Angels placed like 5 guys on waivers. So, again, anybody who claims these guys before September 1st can use them in the playoffs. So, and again, this is why you'll probably see more players put on waivers the next day or so. So don't be surprised. Garrett Cole pitches tomorrow, Chris. So don't be surprised if you see more guys on waivers. And some surprising guys, too. I was surprised to see Bader on waivers today, but I could see the logic behind it. Sunil and I had a good conversation about the draft picks and you know, if you're over the threshold, the penalty they have to pay by dropping 10 picks and but having that can be offset by having a bad record, which can elevate them in a draft. So like I said, anything's better than where they're picking now, which is around 25. So if you could pick 20, 15, whatever, I'll take that. I'll take it, man. Yeah, I can see Willie Randolph getting a shot. I appreciate it. Thank you. We suppressed 100, King. Henderson's another one too, Angelo. I'd be interested. I think Bader gets claimed. Who, I don't know. I mean, it could be the Giants. Could be another team. So he could be claimed. He's got value. Somebody, say we need a really good defensive. We need an upgrade in defense in the outfield, and somebody can take Bader. So I could see it. Go get it done, Bill. I got 4 cats myself, so cleaning up puke and shit and everything else is normal everyday thing. No. Do I think Yankees replace anyone else somewhere? I don't think so, Strogi. I mean, could be Higasho. I don't know. Probably not. Strogi, probably not. Lee Randolph, I'd like to say. I mean, he could get a shot. Leyritz blew a 1-4, but hung jury let him off because the woman was drunk and ran a red. Like, he was convicted of DUI, but not guilty of manslaughter. Well, that's an ugly situation for. Yeah, thank you, gang, for hitting the like buttons. That's an ugly situation for Leyritz. And on that note, I think the Yankees will probably pass on him for that. So, yeah, it's 4 years if since at 19 or later, or 5 years if it's 19 and young. Yep. And that's why Donaldson's eligible now. So, get that pickleball done. Get that pickleball done. Get fit, Sunil. Go get fit, man. Get your workout in, baby. I appreciate all these else. I want to thank you all for coming on. I appreciate the feedback, your support, the likes, the super chats, your insights. Valuable. I hope I was a little bit more clear the difference between waivers and releasing. So, what's more important than firing Boone is how his franchise uses analytics. Yeah, analytics should be before Boone. Tino Martinez was like a tyrant as a coach, Angelo. He was fired after 1 year as a Tampa Bay Rays coach. He was like berating players publicly. It was like way too intense for players. So he was like the freaking Adolf Hitler of coaches. He was universally hated as a coach. So I didn't think Yankees will never go with Tino. We are the best fans in the world. But I also think it's important to be clear to the fans, particularly as a content creator. It's important to give you the full story, not just my side of it. And I'll stand by that. Whether people agree with me or not, I think it's important for fans to not be deprived of certain information. So that's my word to you. So of course it makes you love Tino. Tino was intense. I met him at a Broadway show once. He was intense meeting him at a Broadway show. He looked like he was about to kill somebody, going in there with his wife. Like, we're like, shit, he looks angry. So, but we'll see what happens. But that's the roster stuff right now. Anything else that happens, you're going to get it here. That's my word to you. If anybody claims bait or whatever, you can count on me putting it out for you. So, but yeah, Tino sticks with old timers day, exactly. But have a great night, everybody. Appreciate all these peace and love, gang, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.